Relationship with him ended. It was derailed by Attorney General Robert Kennedy when a Justice Department report said, quote, Sinatra has had a long and wide association with hoodlums and racketeers, which seems to be continuing. Indeed, his long friendship with mob boss Sam Giancana was well documented. The final Kennedy insult, JFK's decision to snub lifelong Democrat Sinatra's offer of his Palm Springs, California home in 1962. The president stayed instead with Bing Crosby, a Republican. Ironically, Sinatra went on to support many Republicans. He contributed to Richard Nixon's re-election campaign in 1972 and reportedly helped persuade Nixon to keep Spiro Agnew on the ticket. A year later, it was a Republican president, Nixon, who invited Sinatra for the first time to sing at the White House. It was a period punctuated by Sinatra's stormy appearance before a House Selects Committee on Crime.
But I never had anything to do with him business-wise, really socially. No connection really whatsoever.
Ronald Reagan, a decade later, would brush aside stories of a Sinatra dark side by saying, we've heard those things about Frank for years.
Though your dreams be tossed.
Saying Reagan had been a good president, Sinatra in 1988 endorsed George Bush and later sang for the new president and his wife. But for the performer known as the chairman of the board, nothing equaled the excess of the Ronald Reagan years. Gene Randall, CNN, Washington.
Frank Sinatra's career spanned generations, and people in each generation found something about him that they liked. Jill Brooke reports on the entertainment legend who stood the test of time.
Start spreading the news. I am leaving today.
For many of us, we first heard about Frank Sinatra through our parents. His music would bring back memories, and suddenly we saw our parents not as old and unhip, but as young people in love.
I walk alone.
As a result, Sinatra became a constant echo in our lives.
His music is timeless.
His fans were of all ages.
My aunt used to make me listen to Frank Sinatra.
Oh, my grandfather loves him. At home, he has like plates with his name and his pictures on them.
She finally got her kid.
On lazy afternoons or sleepless nights, Sinatra's films like Anchors Aweigh or High Society would be seen on TV, and many generations would discover him.
And they see in him all that swagger and coolness and confidence, and it's something that's also runs through rock and roll.
Miss Jones and I.
Sometimes kids would accidentally hear his music.
I listened to the radio and I heard it and I went out and I bought a CD. Got a beautiful voice and it's kind of nice and romantic.
His music really did impact all generations in surprising and varied ways.
Love and marriage.
The theme song from Married with Children belonged to Frank.
As a musician, he's a phenomenal musician. I was talking to Quincy Jones and I said, Mr. Jones, how much does Frank Sinatra know? How much does he really know about singing and about music? He says he knows everything.
I have got you under my skin.
It was the respect of contemporary musicians that cemented Frank's relationships with young people. The Duets album became an instant hit, the biggest seller of his career.
It was wonderfully helpful in spreading the Sinatra word because it played to all the other artists' constituencies, from Linda Ronstadt, Carly Simon, to Luther Vandross and Aretha Franklin.
That I've got you under my skin.
Bono also sang a duet with him. In a statement, he said, Frank Sinatra was the 20th century. He was modern, he was complex, he had swing, and he had attitude. Sinatra sang about the language of love and desire better than anyone else. And his music never seemed dated, which is why he endures and finds an audience in every generation.
'Cause I've got you under my skin.
Jill Brooke, CNN Entertainment News, New York.
We'll have more on the life and career of Frank Sinatra coming up in 2 minutes. First, one more for the road. I'm David Goodnow, CNN Headline News.
I got a little
This is the CNN Headline News Network.